It's definitely right. Even when I was doing my masters, there were professors who used to tell that you need to take at some point in your life to good growth in towards your professional life. You need to take PE at some point in your life.
Even in my undergraduate coursework, when I took power systems, the very first class in my undergraduate, this was the issue that I always encountered. Should I multiply by square root 3? Should I divide by square root 3? Should I leave it as it is?
One major thing about PE is the time. I don't think I've given any exam that takes 8 hours. I've never given an exam. 8 hours is a pretty long time duration. Most of all the exams that we have taken, I've taken is 3 hours max. So it's definitely from morning to evening is what you sit in the exam. So you need to be prepped for that as well. That's another thing completely.
Hi Radhika,
Hi, Wasim.
how are you doing?
Good, good, really good. Feeling really good after passing the exam.
Is this your first weekend or second weekend after passing the exam? Second weekend, correct?
Yeah, second weekend.
Yeah. So how does it feel having so much time on your hand?
Yep, it feels really good. Like, yeah, suddenly after the PE, definitely there's a huge downside of like this. You have a lot of time because right after my work, I used to go start studying for PE. So yeah, for a definitely few weeks, I'll feel what to do with now, right now.
And it's not just PE because your journey started in what, 2023, correct? With your FE preparation. Is that right?
Yes, yes, I joined your FE May batch uh, last year.
May life training, yeah. And so that was a summer program that you joined, and you took the exam in August, or
August, yes. I think that after the 3 months course, yeah, I right after took almost like 20 days after your course, I took the exam.
yeah. So your FE preparation was very condensed. Timeline was very condensed. You started with the on-demand plus live training program, went through the live training, and you took the exam within a couple of weeks of the completion of the live training program, which is great. When did you graduate, Radhika? If you can give us a little bit of a background as to what was your motivation for taking the FE exam, how did it all start, and then we're going to transition into your P power.
Yep. So I graduated in 2014 from India undergrad, and then I came to US for my masters in 2018. So I did my masters. I completed my masters in 2019, and right after masters, I joined. I started working, and it's definitely right. Even when I was doing my masters, there were professors who used to tell that you need to take at some point in your life to have a growth, or if you are interested on the to go have like good growth in towards your professional life, you need to take PE at some point in your life. So it was constantly there in my mind during the masters as well. My masters program was also pretty condensed, so there was no time for me to spend additional time to start preparing for my FE. But right after when I started working, my supervisors also told me like, in if you want to move in this career of electrical power, you are interested, you have to take exam at some point in your life. It will be very useful. So it was always constantly there in my mind, but obviously for some personal reasons, I shifted from one place to another for work reasons. All that stuff delayed it, and I actually also started studying personally without any training course. I started working personally, and that didn't help because you really need constant motivation, like even motivation every single week to to study, because there are so many things that come in your mind. And then also that was a COVID period right after when I started working. So yeah, a lot of things, and I think there was that motivation, constant motivation, that was I really needed. And at one point of time, I realized that I can't do it myself. I really need to be enrolled in some training, and the best is the live training, I would say, because you after you're out of your college, you don't have 10, 15, or 20 people along with you studying, right? during masters there are people studying along with you, so it makes it very comfortable. You are discussing every week what's happening, so it's the journey is different. But when I was studying myself for the exam, you feel like you're the only one studying, and it's very difficult to keep yourself motivated. So I realized at some point, I think it was in 2023, that when I that I have to enroll in some course. And I came to know about your course from some of my colleagues and some of my friends as well. And I think that's when I thought like, yeah, this is where I have to go, and I have to anyways give the exam this year, no matter what. And I think, yeah, that was a really good decision to enroll to your course and start my FE preparation.
So the FE exam had been on your mind for several years, and you decided to pull the trigger with my on-demand self-study plus live training in May, and you passed the exam in August, right? So once you committed yourself to the goal within a matter of 3 months, give or take 3 to 4 months, you were able to get the result. And how did the live training help you in FE? You mentioned that before that, studying on your own sometimes cannot be as motivational. You can get a little bit off track, and then pushing yourself daily on a daily basis can be challenging. So, how did the weekly schedule, the routine, the task list that I provided for every week, homework assignments, how did they help you stay on track?
Yeah, so yeah, I was not right when I started your course. I did not like focus on like I have to give exam in August. I mean, that was not my short goal that I was keeping. My aim was every week I need to get completed with your practice problems. Like every week you had practice problems, right? So my goal for that entire week was have to get done with. I have to look at your lectures, and I have to get all my homeworks done. I have to jot down what my queries are for that particular topics. So the goal was very limited to 1 week, so you feel like it's pretty achievable. If I will keep it like for three, figuring out, like always thinking about when I'm going to give the exam, I think it's just too much stressful, and I might also not love the journey I'm going through. It's a 4 3 4 months journey, so you need to keep yourself motivated. So instead of planning about what I'm going to do 4 months ahead, I was just making sure that I'm completing the weekly targets. And I think if I'm done even with 80% or 70% of homework assignments and lectures, I used to really enjoy the live training session. I think you need to be a little prepared for the training session if you want to enjoy that session. If you are like completely blank without doing any pre-prep, uh, it won't be efficient for you, the live training session. I mean,
Agreed.
you because in your I've seen you in your live training sessions, apart from the homework problems, you also there are some additional problems that you discuss, right? So it will be like a one, you will just be listening it, that's it, right? But I think when I was prepped at least 70% of it, it's not like every time I'm done with 100% of problems. It was not possible practically. But even if I'm like covered 70% of the time, 70% of it, I used to enjoy the lectures. And there were obviously few people who were really involved in the live training sessions, asking some doubts. There are people coming not from the electrical background as well, so they have some basic doubts as well. And sometimes you feel that you know some basic fundamentals, but you could, like, when you go through those live training sessions and people from other background ask that question, some of your questions also or doubts get solved automatically. So I think I enjoyed the live training sessions. For me, it was really interactive, and I think I also tried to ask as many questions I had. uh, I don't hesitate on asking questions, even if I feel that it might be the most basic or questions. But yeah, I think live training sessions were one of the best. I really enjoyed it. FE, especially.
Great. And that's exactly the expectation as well. When I gave you guys list of lectures, quizzes, mini exams, homework assignments to complete on your own during the weekdays using the on-demand self-study portion, students who are doing that, they are the ones who are going to really enjoy and thrive during the live training classes. Even though I make an effort to review all the concepts again in live training, but you cannot short circuit the system. You cannot take shortcuts and just show up to the live class with the expectation that, okay, you know what, I'm not going to study throughout the week. And then all of a sudden, over the weekend, Wasim is going to give me a magic potion. I'm going to drink it and then I'll know everything, right? And I also appreciate the fact that Radhika, you were very engaged during the entire exam preparation process. You were asking me questions during the sessions and they were helping others, and you were also benefiting from the questions that others were asking. So, just to wrap up your FE electrical, within 3.5 months, 4 months, 3 to 4 months, you got the job done. Now, the P power exam preparation journey was very different, right? It was, you almost took an entire year, 12 months, to pull the trigger on the P power exam, take the exam, and obviously in between do the necessary preparation. So how was it different as compared to your FE electrical, and why did it take you a little bit longer, much longer, 3 to 4 times more longer in terms of timeline? And again, I'm sure that there would be personal reasons or professional reasons or just maybe commitment level or scheduling issues or other priorities. So as much as you'd like to share, I respect that.
Yeah, so that definitely was my. I already had a thought that after my FE, once I passed my FE, I decided that I'll take a little bit of break because of it's a 3 4 months prep, and I just felt like I need to, take a small break and restart again, because I know it's a long journey. You cannot. It's not few days, right? So it's months of prep. So I just felt like I will be. It will be good for me to restart again after taking a little bit of break. But I was sure that I want to for sure continue with your live training sessions, because uh, I again I didn't want to make the mistake of again going all together alone and then regretting later and then delaying it so much. So I right away, I think I applied, like I added your PE course. I took your 1 year course of PE, and first I thought I might like spend a little bit of time myself without going through your live lectures, but I think I just took a complete break for 3 months, and and then after that I started in January, your course material in January. So but yeah, my professional life also had like it was getting a little stressful, so I was not able to spend a good amount of time getting the homework problems and all done. PE courses, definitely I felt on the side that you need to be very very strong on the fundamentals. I felt like I spent less time on practice problems compared to FE, but more time understanding the topics. A lot more time understanding the topics. There were different. I'm also from the power background, so I had a good understanding to some extent on some of the topics, but still there were a couple of topics which I was completely. I felt like off track. I needed more guidance on it. So, uh, yeah, I mean, that's when I started. Yeah, January batch, I was enrolled. I think it completed in March. But even after completion of the course, I was not confident, and I had to skip or miss some of your live lectures. So I think that was when I decided that I need to spend a little more time, because I feel like until you have confidence that you can write the exam, probably you should wait for some time and give it. You should have your at least that confidence on yourself that you have completed all the preparation you think you should do for the exam, because if not, you have to do entire process again. It's not that easy to get it started again. So until I felt confident on myself that I'm completely prepared for the exam, I didn't write the exam.
Right. Yeah, that's a long term approach where you were not trying to again take any shortcuts. You were not rushing into taking the exam. and you were very honest and transparent with yourself that once you went through the first round of life training, you recognized that you're still not ready. So you went through another round of review. As far as I know, you utilized the entire on demand content, the 150 plus lectures, over 100 quizzes, mini exams, and then you did my computer simulated practice exams, then you did my study guide, you did all 24 sessions of live training, more than I would say 80 hours of real time instructions. Again, during the live training, we have over 500 homework problems. So you did not cut any corners. And that's why when you pass the exam, you send me an email, you're like, Wasim, I was fairly confident, right? Your overall level of confidence during the exam, and I don't think a lot of people can say that about the P Power exam, that, I took the exam and I knew I passed the exam, because it's an extremely challenging. You've done your master's. I'm sure that you had to take GRE, I assume, when you came from India to US. And obviously, you've done entire undergraduate coursework. So you've taken at this stage, I would say, dozens of exams, right? As part of your academic professional career. Where does the P Power exam rate in terms of level of difficulty?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would definitely say it's in between medium and difficult. I would say it's one major thing about PE is the time. I don't think I've given any exam that takes 8 hours. I've never given any exam. 8 hours is a pretty long time duration. Most of all the exams that I was taken is 3 hours max. So it's definitely from morning to evening is what you sit in the exam. So you need to be prepped for that as well. That's another thing completely. Um, but yeah, it is difficult. It's not, I wouldn't say that it's nowhere easy or average also. But again, it all depends on how you prep the fundamentals. It's not, I would say FE people concentrate more on solving more and more problems because the constraint is the time there. Biggest constraint is the time. You need to know the tips and tricks to solve a problem faster. If you're not able to, taking 6 minutes to solve a problem, you won't be able to complete even the number of questions that are there in FE. But that's not the case in PE. You will have almost like I think, yeah, minutes are there for every question. So time is not a constraint in PE. And that's why I was not focusing on solving a question faster. That was not my goal at all in PE. My goal was to be very confident that my approach is correct to get the right answer. That was my direction. So I didn't spend a lot of time trying to figure out how should I solve this question faster. That was never I was the thing I was thinking. It was always to understand the fundamentals. If I'm and of course, like in PE, there are very small things. Especially, I also said before that even a root three concept is going to come in every almost single question that you will solve in PE, and there will always be an option of root three, multiplication or division in the
It's
answer.
fundamental confusion in power systems, square root 3 and 30
Yes.
degrees. I
Yes.
remember even in my undergraduate coursework, when I took power systems, the very first class in my undergraduate, this was the issue that I always encountered. Should I multiply by square root 3? Should I divide by square root 3? Should I leave it as it is? Right?
And that it's there was I think I checked in some of the answers that there was literally an option of, if I divide by root 3 and I multiply with, there will always be an option. So they're really testing you on how much of fundamental concept you have it. Once you're sure about that, it's not difficult to come to an answer. It's not like a long calculations. I think it was in PE that I experienced, but again, fundamentals. So I think that's where, and I also from my supervisors, my colleagues, I came to know that you need to enjoy the journey. You cannot be very stringent on that only goal of, you have to just pass the exam. You ultimately are going to become a PE. You're going to people are going to trust you that you know stuff when you're signing off. So you need to spend time in actually understanding what's going on there. Why is this difference is coming in the in these questions? So I think if you enjoy that journey, you really understand the concepts. Your P won't be as difficult as it sounds to be. but but it's again, don't not to consider that it's not a tough exam. It is one of the toughest exams.
For sure. Thanks a lot for that advice, Radhika. If you remember during the classes, I used to remind the students all the time that, listen, guys, we have two goals over here. One goal is to pass the exam, and the second goal is to actually become a better power systems engineer. And in some sense, the second goal is more important than the first one. The first one is going to happen, right? When the second one happens automatically.
Yes.
So it has given, the course, the feedback I get from students is that by going through the program, they feel more confident, more competent. As power systems engineer, they are able to take more challenging assignments, roles at work. They're able to contribute more effectively to the discussions that are happening, especially in the design capacity. So these are the byproducts, but in some cases, the byproduct is actually much more valuable than the initial goal that you set for yourself. So it was great having you in the program, Radhika, being part of your F electrical journey, the P power journey, and kudos to you for getting both of these done back to back. And the mindset that you shared, I think that is the biggest takeaway for the viewers. If you want to become a licensed professional engineer, it is a long journey. These two exams are tough, especially if you're working, you have personal commitments, professional commitments. You will have to make sacrifices. You'll have to say no to so many things: social events, friends, family gatherings, sleep, workouts, leisure activities, and not for one day, not for one weekend, not for 1 month. But typically, this takes almost a year. FE, about few months, PE, about few months. So you got to be willing to put in the time and effort and be willing to make those sacrifices. And that's how you basically get this done. And the rewards are going to come your way for the rest of your career. Instantly, most of the folks who become licensed professional engineers at their workplaces get about 10%, 15%, depending on your employer, their policies, but definitely a bump in your salary, sometimes additional bonuses as well, promotions, titles, ability to basically work as lead engineers and whatnot. Within the industry, others are going to look at you with a lot more respect, and your profile is going to raise because there is a severe shortage of electrical Ps in the industry, so much so that I have mechanical engineers, chemical engineers joining the P Power program and getting the P Power license examination, and then getting um, sort of proving themselves and getting a foot in the door in power systems industry. So again, many congratulations, Radhika, and I wish you best of luck for your future career endeavors.
Thank you so much, Wasim. Yep.
Thank you. If you like this video, then please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Feel free to ask me any questions in the comment section of this video below. You can find tons of success stories of my FE Electrical and P Power students over here. And if you want to learn more about preparation of FE Electrical and Computer exam and the P Power exam, then check out these playlists over here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next video.